All right, welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters, and also the agent of stop motion animated awesomeness. Today we're going to be reviewing the peplum with the best special effects, Jason and the Argonauts from 1963, not to be confused with Giants of Thessaly, the Italian version of Jason and the Argonauts, which I'll probably get around to at some point, maybe even next week. It's not nearly as exciting as this one, but it does have an ending. Be that as it may, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this movie. Is it as good as its reputation gets because of the effects? And the script is good, but let me know what you think about it. What's your favorite sequence? And anything else you want to say? And just watch a little longer. Really help the algorithm. And we'll go on from there. Are you ready? Get your miniatures on and let's rock and roll.
Christmas to you, sir.
Christmas? Ha! Bah, humbug!
We haven't had a hen since I can't tell you when.
It's Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, Sunday at 12:30 on 11 Alive.
So, after we see the Charles H. Schneer production and the Columbia screen, we start out with that bombastic score from Bernard Herrmann. It's wonderful. This is the fourth and final time he worked with Harryhausen and Schneer on a movie, and the opening credits are great. And I did put in who they were dubbed by. So, horrors. This movie, much like One Million Years BC, had actors dubbing voice actors dubbing other actors. No, I mean, we never knew this till much later on. Didn't matter. So they did a great job, Todd. Harryhausen got it. I don't know if this was his first associate producer credit, but there it is. Directed by Don Chaffee, who I think is wonderful. And look, it's got Skiller right there, who's not in the movie at all. So we start out with a prophet and King of Pelias, who's usurping the throne of Thessaly, and he tells them that when he'll get away with it, but one of his children will avenge. One of Aristo's children will avenge him. So here's the fight, which is done really well to make you think there's a lot of people overrunning the city, but they're this was for the amount of money that was spent on this, $3 million. They got way more bang for their buck for sure. That's Brysis appealing to Hera for help with her little sister. Pelias kills both of them and is told by this mysterious figure in black who serves the goddess that someday a man with one sandal will avenge her. Turns out, of course, that's Hera, played by Honor Blackman. One of, just drew a blanket. Let's get back down here. It is Honor Blackman. She was, of course, Pussy Galore in one of the Bond movies, and also Kathy Gale in the Avengers, the black and white ones, and she's the one that everyone remembers Emma Peel, but Kathy was the first. And of course, that is Neil McGuinness as Zeus, and you should remember him from Night of the Demon / Curse of the Demon, because he's so great. I'd like to see a movie of these two. I would have. So we flash forward immediately 20 years. Jason is now grown, and they're watching him on their closed circuit television. Pelias gets pulled into the water by Hera. Guess who rescues him with one sandal? But he doesn't know who he rescued, so he just blabbers on about what he's doing, because that's what he's asked to do. And Hera is all happy now. And the prophet there is still watching because he knows. And there we meet Acastus, who is the son of Pelias, says, "Why don't you kill him? Because if I kill him, I'll be dead." And so Jason's wandering through there and talks to the prophet that he sees, the priest. He's like, "Oh, it's Hermes," and he says, "Yes." He's like, "Come with me, Jason," because Jason is agnostic about the gods of Mount Olympus. Here he is, sans beard, poof, gigantic, and now we get to see Olympus, pardon me, proper. They've got the chessboard, which would be repeated again as a motif in Clash of the Titans, whose Zeus was far less fun than Neil McGuinness. Sorry, Brock. This movie was released on June 13th, 1963, runs 104 minutes. It did not make its money back. Harryhausen, in the Laserdisc commentary he provides, he blames it on the glut of Peplum movies, but he decided to make a movie and release it in a glut of Peplum movies. I mean, yeah, it's mostly better, as we'll get to, but that's just like, really? I think the studio had no faith in it. I got to see it on a re-release in 1978 when Brock was in Texas, and he did not get to see it. So I saw it in the theater with my brother. We had a great time. I knew what to expect. So there's more of Olympus, and they meet Jason, who says, "I'm not here to ask you for anything." But Zeus lets Hera help him 5 times. She's already helped him 2 or 3 times. And they set up they're finding the best adventurers in the world to go after the fleece, which Pelias is now sending Jason to do, sure that he's going to get killed and that'll be it. So he thinks he's safe. There's a Castus who gets on somehow, and a bowman. Hercules showed up, played by who is Hercules played by? Nigel Green. This Hercules is a bit older, a bit more. He's a bit wiser, and he's also a bit late. The competition has finished, but he's granted a spot on the boat without having to prove himself because he's Hercules. I like the fact that he's a little older here, as opposed to the robust, manly men that were in the Italian movies. But Hylas has also arrived late and wants to get on, and he challenges Hercules to see if he can best him at any feat of strength. I just couldn't resist the airplane joke. So Hercules chucks his clear out past the rock there, or to the rock, and then Hylas skips his discus out past the rock, so he gets on, and everyone's happy, including the gods. Now you don't know who's whom among here, because there should only be 12 or so. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's some hangers on there. Now Jason goes to meet Argus to get the boat, and there he's got the figurehead, which is stern or aft, one of the two. I'm not a sailor. And off they go, and they name the ship the Argo. It's got a big eye on it, I think, because of our Argus the Many-Eyed, but don't quote me on that. And they're okay. So they're out in the sea. They're lost. They don't know where they're going. Apparently, no one's been to. They have to go to. Let's see. Where is this place they're going to? Well, they're going in search of the fleece, which is at the end of the world. So the crew's on the verge of mutiny, thanks to a Castus. And Jason goes to talk to Hera. She sends him to the Isle of Bronze and says, just take food and water, nothing else. And he specifically tells Hercules this. He's like, what? So there they get there, and off they go. They're chasing goats, because they'll eat goats. And they come across these statues of bronze. Now, if you know anything about mythology, you'll know what's going to happen. And it does in most of the legends. Now, they're not this tall. But by the gods, it even says Talos there, they go in because the door's ajar. That seems like a trap to me. And look at all the gems and giant things. Hercules steals a golden brooch pin for a spear. And, of course, wakes up Talos. Now, I don't know what would have happened if they'd have woken up one of the other ones, but I suppose that's moo at this point in time. And this is the first real true special effects sequence we see, and it's great. And he just lumbers around, and Harryhausen has the gate down, and he moves slowly. He's not fast. These guys just can't get out of him. He's trying to scoosh him. Picks up the Argo and doesn't destroy it, but does some damage. And Jason's like, "Hey, what do we do here?" And she's like, "Choose. I told you not to steal anything." So he tells him the weakness, which is in the heel, not the Achilles heel, but right there. There's a cork. And it's steaming. It's full of ichor, which is the blood. Falls over dead. Boom! Unfortunately, Hylas went to retrieve the stolen the purloined spear, and scoosh! And now they rebuild the Argo, and Hercules saying, "I'm staying. I've got to find my pal." As we saw in Hercules, Samson, and Ulysses, Iole or Hylas was his son. Take your pick. Some other versions have them as closer, but that is Greek. That's Greek for you. So he stays. Acastus says, "I'm not going." So he's like, "All right, come on. Who's not going to obey the gods?" So Hera says, "Got to go to this island and meet." They're going to Colchis. So let's see, to get the fleece there. So seek out Phineas, who will help you how to get there. Hylas is dead, and Zeus has other plans for Hercules. And traditionally, Hera hates Hercules because he's one of Zeus's philandering conquests. So they go to visit Phineas, and that's Patrick Troughton there himself, play the second Doctor in 1963. So right before, I want to say, before he became the second Doctor, he was in this movie. So there've been more than one Doctor that worked with, 3 years from now, that worked with Harryhausen. At least 2, if not 3. And the Harpies show up, which are just loathsome creatures. But this is at Paestum, which is in Italy, where they filmed it. You can't do that anymore because it's 2,000 plus years old. And he's blind, but he's being punished by Zeus for sinning. We're not told exactly what the sin is, but that's what it is. So there he is eating. They trap the Harpies, which, again, the sequence is great. And they got to go through the clashing rocks to get to Colchis. And this is also part of the myth. So the movie was written by, let's scroll back up here, I'll tell you, Beverly Cross, who is a scholar of mythology. But he gives him the Triton totem necklace, and off he goes, and he just throws his scraps to the Harpies now. Now, I wonder, why would you want to keep the loathsome things there? But until they learn to leave them alone, I don't know. They probably should have just put them out of their misery, but off they go. And you see how Acastus is such a worm? He's such an Eddie Haskell, a weasel. And you're watching another ship come through, and then the rocks come to life, and everybody. And you can tell this was filmed in not a large tank, because those are drops of water. They're not big splashes of waves. They were not, anyway. And Zeus is like, "Well, they're dead." And she's like, "I've got one more move." But they're trying to get through. And then she brings Triton in. He shows up. It's a man in a monster costume. How is that a thing? Well, anyway. Made more sense, and it looks great. They did it really well. Although, again, you can tell he's in a tub. That's just how it is. But when you see it on the big screen, you just don't care because it moves along. These are things that only people who've watched the movie way more times than usual, or probably they should have, would notice. So they get through. Hera's all proud of herself. And they find a survivor, which is Nancy Kovac, as Medea. She's in that story. Boy, they're lucky they didn't go film the sequel, because holy crap, that's a dark story. But they find her. He tells her who she is. Let's see. I want to see what else have we seen her? She's been in. Was it Bewitched? I think she was in Batman and Star Trek. A Private Little as Nona. Yeah, so she's pretty much made the the trifecta here. The Invisible Man 75 TV show. Jeez. So good for Nancy. And was dubbed. Probably because she sounded too not English. Let's see, we'll go back. Okay, so finally Acastus has had enough and they challenge him to a duel. It's a good little fight scene here. And he jumps overboard. One of the Argonauts follows him, but they find blood and not him. Well, I think they find him dead. So in the fight, he gets wounded, but she heals him. And then they find out she's a priestess of Hecate here, a triple-headed goddess, and one that's very popular these days. Even I have a medallion for her that I quite like. Should wear that more often. Then King Aeetes shows up, who's the king of Colchis, and we find out that she's a high priestess, but he knows why they're there. Well, actually, he knows why. So he drugs all of them, and he's like, we're gonna kill you all because you're here to steal the golden fleece," and they are. They're just gonna steal a totem that brings them peace and happiness and prosperity and take it away. So there's some problems here with the whole plot. Of course, there's Eddie Haskell himself, Haskellus, Acastus showing up. And Medea is now in love with Jason and wants to ask her goddess what to do. I like that shot there. They put some money into this thing. So she goes and does the sneaky steal the jailer's keys, gets everybody out. And they're like, they realize that, what's going on here? We got to stop him. So Acastus goes to steal the fleece himself. How's he going to get back? I mean, is he going to go to the crew? And they already know he's turned on him, so they're not going to. He didn't think this through. See, he's like, I'm going to be a hero to my dad. But everyone's back on the ship, except for there are going to be 4 of them that go after Jason, who's found the fleece. And guess what else he finds? The Hydra, which is a magnificent creation. Unfortunately, it's way too large. The fight scene's all right, but perhaps conjuring up a different monster to fight it might have been a thing. Like the Sinbad's always had a monster against monster battle. His Harryhausen's 2 mythological movies do not. And this is just a giant. It's like similar to the Titan in Clash of the Titans, the Kraken. It's just too large to. I mean, what's going to happen. But, and Harryhausen did such a great job with it. It's a magnificent monster. It's probably one of my favorite monsters of his. And Jason, there's Acastus there. And then Jason gets grabbed, and Medea's watching on in horror. And then he stabs it, and that's it. So it's not the most exciting thing, but it is not the final sequence. So that is a plus, because the final sequence, of course, is the final sequence. So he kills the Hydra, and he grabs the golden fleece, and off they go. And by this time, the other 3, Argus and the other 3 Argonauts are with him. Of course, the king is not happy, and and he conjures up, and he calls down fire from the skies, whoa, to burn the corpse of the Hydra, and he gathers their teeth. And just this great shot there. Medea gets shot in the back and killed, or at least brought near death. And the 2 Argonauts, or should be a 3rd one there. No, 2 Argonauts. I got the numbers wrong. They cover her with the golden fleece. It heals her. She's all smiley. And he calls on Jason to wait. And they do, like dummies. Jason tells Argus to take Medea to the Argo. There's a lot of Arguses and Argos in here, isn't there? And he does, which is smart, so that she won't get hurt in the battle. And then we see this amazing final sequence, final stop motion battle with the skeleton. The skeletons come up, all 7 of them. I can't imagine what a nightmare that would have been. Now, I knew what was coming because I'd read From the Land Beyond like 18 times by this time. Yeah, but I knew that the audience most of them probably didn't. If they did, I like how their shields all have different creatures on them. You've got an octopus, and who knows what these are supposed to be, but they yell. So how you can get How they can yell, that's beyond me. So, but they did, and off the battle is. I mean, they're spooky looking.
11's Alive with a special holiday treat. Sunday at 12:30, it's Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol.
A very Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Christmas! Ha! Bah! Humbug!
We haven't had a hen since I can't tell you when.
It's Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol. Sunday at 12:30 on 11 Alive.
Yeah, they're spooky looking, but you could be easily defeat them. Because look, he chops a head off. I mean, they don't have eyes, so but the body can't. I mean, would it still be going after you? But chop off a leg, cut a leg bone down. They don't do it. They stab one, and he just gets right back up. Like, what are you doing? Unfortunately, when you stab an Argonaut, they die. So they take care of the skeletons. Take care of the two other ones. Only 6 of them are here when Jason throws the spear at him. So perhaps the headless one is just wandering around Colchis to this day, or maybe got over to the northeast of America and New England and became the headless horseman. We'll never know. And then they jump off, or Jason jumps off, and the skeletons sink and don't come back up. Hera's like, they did it, they did it. And Zeus tells him, well, we'll just let him have a fair wind, and the girl is pretty, and we have I have other plans for Jason. Well, you might have had other plans for Jason, but this is the end of the movie. We don't find out, what happens when they go back, and Augustus is gone, and Polias is plotting his treachery. We never find out. There's no end, no real ending to this movie. Say what you will about the Italian peplums and how some of them are boring and some of them don't have the greatest effects, but they all have endings. The movies end the way they're supposed to. That's the one big flaw. The other flaw is the deity ordained, stealing of artifacts. So go figure about that. And there he is, but he's such a great Zeus. Again, I would have liked to have seen a movie with Zeus and Hera. That would have been fun. I mean, but that is the end of the movie. That's where it ends. There's no real end of the movie. And it's going to have to be all right. So, my fellow agents, still a wonderful movie. I really like it. I've watched it twice in a week for this. So, tomorrow we will be reviewing Superman, the next 3 episodes of Superman 88. And again, very enjoyable show. And Tuesday we'll have that Mr. Magoo Christmas Carol, which has a terrifying part in it. But until our next assignment, my fellow agents, this is X7 signing off and phasing out.
The Justice League of America, the combined might and power of the Man of Steel and the Cosmic Crusader, the Winged Avenger, and the King of the Sea, the Tiny Titan, and the Scarlet Streak, all working together for good against evil as the Justice League of America.